It's not a goal to be healthy. It's a responsibility to be healthy.
Agreed.
If our health is intact, our ability to serve others is improved.
Hello, carnivores, and welcome to session 109. Robert Sikes needs no introduction on this channel or on any podcast, I feel like, but I wrote him one up anyway because that's what friends do. Robert has made 2 podcast appearances on this show, so you can check out session number 70, where he and I discussed our different peak week strategies in deep detail, and session number 87, where we went over reverse dieting, ketogenic refeeds, and the new tallow bricks, which was way back when they started using beef tallow as their primary ingredient, which took their keto meal replacement bars from being top in the keto industry to a favorite among carnivore dieters like myself because of the quality of the animal-based ingredients. And personally, I think that the tallow bricks beat even the original bricks in terms of flavor. You can't go wrong with any of them. That's for damn sure. My family loves them. Our clients and listeners of the show have been super supportive with your purchases using my affiliate code. So very grateful for that. And my roommates here at Boardwalk Treatment Center in San Diego are curious as fuck about what these keto bricks are that Coach Colt is always packing with him to hikes, band rehearsals, meetings, surfing, all the fun stuff. So Robert and Crystal go way back with Taylor and myself as we have had the honor to host them when they've traveled through Montana on Robert's way to get his WNBF pro card. We trained in person together, and I just have to say that he's about the most genuine, authentic coach on the planet and a businessman that I truly respect on every aspect of how he lives. He's a cool dad, an encouraging coach, a great author, and a motivating podcaster. Check out his shows, the Savage Perspective podcast and the Work podcast, to see what I'm talking about. Basically, he's someone that I aspired to become more like myself, mentally, physically, and spiritually, because he sets the standard high in all areas. And today I'm going to be asking him about what it was like hosting his very first bodybuilding competition, in which I had one athlete compete in, and she did quite well, and what his plans are for the next year, because Casey and I are both taking a hard look at competing at that show next year in 2026. Also, the Glazed Donut Keto Brick, which I must say is as good, if not better, than Krispy Kreme. Robert's self-care and personal growth habits that keep him grounded and growing in his faith despite his incredibly busy and high-stress lifestyle. Robert, welcome to Carnivore Coach's Corner.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate the intro, too. You always put so much time and thought into those. I love them.
Oh, man. Well, I don't have the opportunity to speak with you very often. You're a busy guy. I'm a busy guy. And so we really don't have the time to text or call each other, right? And so when we do, it's catching up on recorded air where we're making good use of both of our time. So
100%, man. 100%. What do you want to dive into? Where do you want to start, brother?
Sure, man. Well, I was going to ask you about your 2 different shows first, but I guess first of all, like, just how was your day? What'd you do today, man?
The day's been good, man. What did I do today? Today was a cardio day, so I did Stairmaster. Had my men's group. Thursday morning, we do a men's group at my church, so we meet at 6 o'clock in the morning, have good camaraderie there. And then I went and did some Stairmaster, went for a trail run, and then got to the office, and I've just been grinding here ever since. What
are you guys going through in your men's group right now? That's interesting.
We're doing Ephesians right now, so the armor of God, all of that concept. So it's been really good. I had like a epiphany 2 weeks ago as I was driving down to the family farm, and how it all ties together in life. So the message that the preacher's been given is totally in accordance with what I've been thinking. So it's all been very insightful.
That's funny that you mentioned that. You're studying Ephesians. The signature in my email for all the emails I say, all the emails that I send is "Be strong in the Lord." Ephesians 6:10.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I know.
That's right. Yeah, you do know. Your last 7-set Sunday was awesome. So
appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I enjoy writing those. It's just kind of gives people a glimpse into the all the behind the curtain stuff in my life, for sure.
Yeah. I've been off social media and like pretty much everything for a couple of months now, and so the podcast is the most important thing, and I feel like the most valuable thing that I have to offer as far as content. And so I haven't been doing the newsletter in quite some time, and I miss that. I really miss that because I relate to you. It's fun, it's rewarding, and it's a good way to get your creative thoughts out. Huh?
Podcasting, I mean, you can do a long form conversation, and I feel like that's just way more valuable than little sound bites and snippets on social.
Definitely. So you have 2 podcasts now?
Technically, I've got one, but I've got kind of 2 versions of one. So I've got the Savage Perspective, which is the main podcast, but then Greg and I kind of host together in tandem the Work, which is like a subset of the Savage Perspective, which just kind of gives listeners more of a behind the scenes as to all the interworkings of the business, just things that we've got that are like current event stuff. Because those, we record those on Monday and publish on Friday, whereas the podcast with guests coming on, like I recorded a podcast right before this one, and that won't be launched until like 5 weeks from now. So I'm like pretty far ahead on my recordings. So like the Work is all like current, real time, what's happening this week events.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Last week I was listening to I was listening to the Work podcast, and you guys were talking about these glazed donut keto bricks, and I was like, oh my god, that sounds like keto crack in a package. And
they're pretty good, man. I've been eating one every day, and I haven't had a donut in like over a decade, but if I recollect properly, they taste like a freaking donut.
Yeah, and the texture I don't think was too far off either, because the other bricks are like kind of like more like closer like bricks. The fudge brick, I don't know if anybody else has been doing this, but I've been freezing them and then eating them frozen, and it's like eating a fudge sickle.
Yeah. The primal fudge is really good too. We're sold out. That's like the one flavor we're sold out of right now. But the glazed donut may be one of my top favorites for sure.
Definitely. I'm going to see if Taylor and the kids this weekend. I told Taylor that I'm bringing the glazed donut brick, and she's pretty amped about it. So I ate one of them, and then I was like, the second one that you guys sent me, and I appreciate the handwritten note too, by the way. That was cute. That was really, really cute. Sure. I love how like your entire staff and everything signs it too. You guys put so much thought and so much love into this business, man.
We try. We do love it, so we want to just show that love.
Yeah. I was like, this is seriously the best keto brick I've ever had of all of them, man. Like the maple pecan was good. Last night I had half of the peanut butter tallow luau. Is that how you pronounce it?
Hallelujah. Kind of like hallelujah, except with
hallelujah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did that, and then I've just been mixing it with a little bit of whole milk and my metabolic nutrition peanut butter protein powder, iso powder. So it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's like a bowl of actually what tastes quite a bit better than actual peanut butter, I think. So
yeah, for sure. That's one of my other favorite flavors.
Yeah, man. Okay, so you hosted your very own first bodybuilding show. I've co-hosted the Open Natural a couple times with Hyro Chang in Seattle, and guest post for both events along Benny Mobley. I think you know him. Some other natural pros. Yeah. What inspired you to host a show?
To me, it just seemed like a very tangible way to give back to the bodybuilding community. Like I've competed at so many shows, I've judged a few shows, I've been to countless shows, and I'm like, every time I go to a show, I'm like, okay, what do I like that they're doing? What can I do better? And then I just like doing things in-house internally. And it's like, okay, I'm just going to go all out with it, do my own show, my own way, and take over. And that's what we tried to do with this first one. And it was a massive success. It was a ton of fun. A lot of stress as well, obviously, but I feel like all the feedback we've gotten has been overwhelmingly positive, and it's just a very tangible way for me to give back to the bodybuilding community and give them a platform to showcase all their hard work. And honestly, it's kind of also a stepping stone or an open door for me to introduce some of these ketogenic bodybuilding concepts to a demographic of bodybuilders that wouldn't otherwise contribute to them.
Yeah. So many people just don't understand that keto bodybuilding is a thing. But yeah, I actually enjoy hosting and guest posing at shows more than competing myself personally, because I feel like I'm giving back to a sport that's been giving so much to me too. You said that there was some stressful aspects of hosting. So what was like the most stressful part of hosting the show?
I mean, just like massive event coordination, like, you're dealing with multiple people, the venue staff, all of the competitors, the polygrapher, the judges, the tanning company, I mean, the media company. Like, there's just a lot of moving pieces, and making sure that you've got the A team on point is key, so they can just run with it and capitalize on their strengths. But like we had the A team. Like all of the people involved with our show they were rock stars. You know, I could see that not being the case and it going totally south if I didn't have the A team. So finding those people and then just letting them run with their skill set is key. But like getting that organized in the front end is a stressor. And then we had like 2 competitors that weren't able to compete due to polygraph, and like, you know, it's just
Oh
sad.
shit.
Yeah, so like I was the one. I felt it was my responsibility to be the one to tell them that, um, and that was a hard conversation. But I felt that it was good that it came from me, and very heartfelt, meaningful. And they both left. They were there the whole weekend. Like they wanted to still be a part of it and be
Oh,
involved.
good.
Encourage them to do. So a very positive outcome for sure. But like moments like that is a low, so we make it a positive. But like people put so much time and effort and work into stepping on stage, and I feel like it's my responsibility just to make the experience overwhelmingly positive for them.
Yeah, not to get into what we were talking about before we started recording, but I imagine that those 2 gentlemen that failed the polygraph test, they probably judged themselves more than anybody else judged them. And I think that what they needed to hear from you was some encouragement if they're going to come around and make a comeback at some point, huh?
Yeah, and that was what my goal was. I mean, both of them took it very well. I mean, it's sad for sure because they go into it planning to compete,
Yep.
and I wanted to just say, look, hey, nobody can take the work that you put in away from you. So, like, I mean, we let them like get stage shots and everything. They get the photo package. Like, we let them come away with that experience, with a legitimate experience, which I think everybody that preps for a show deserves.
Yeah. Are you going to host this show again in 2026?
Yeah, the plan is to do it every year, and then just keep growing it and getting it better every single time.
Around the same time?
Yeah, I'm shooting for September. I mean, September's a good month for Arkansas. The weather's starting to shift. It's beautiful up here, especially in Northwest Arkansas during that time. The venue was legit. So just bringing that same venue back in the same time frame is the goal for sure.
Awesome. Casey Aiken, my client and business partner, are looking hard at this one for my next show, and that's going to be his first show. So it'll be a couple months after what I'm scheduled to guest pose next. So probably perfect timing for me to cut down, which will allow me to keep focusing on building muscle until summer 2026. So
nice, man. Well, I'd love to have you on the stage.
Thanks, man. Your categories, is this a WNBF sanctioned show?
Yeah, WNBF sanctions. So we had all the WNBF categories. We gave away 4 pro cards because we had enough competitors in 4 classes to deem a pro card.
It's
So that was
amazing.
awesome. So yeah, it was a big success, brother.
Yeah. I think that you said you had Terry Reeves and Katie Wayman White, or some people that I kind of got into bodybuilding with along your panel.
Yeah, Katie was our head judge. Terry Reeves was there.
Wow.
Lisa Lum, who's like a 3-time not Mr. Olympia, but bodybuilding Olympian, not Olympian, but worlds pro from the worlds within WNBF, which is like the pinnacle of natural bodybuilding. She's a freaking rock star, an amazing human. She was there as a judge as well. We had several great judges. All the judges were great.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love how up to date you are on the WNBF and natural bodybuilding. And I think if I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like you're quite a bit more up to date on that than you are even the IIFBB. Like, I don't have a clue what's going on in the IIFBB anymore, but all the natural shows, I'm always, super curious about who's winning and whatnot. But apparently Lee Priest is making a comeback.
Oh, I saw something about that. I haven't really kept up. I watched a snippet of the Mr. Olympia this year because I had a client competing in it. So I got the download package to watch him compete. But I didn't watch the whole thing by any means. So I don't even know who. I think Derek Lunsford won the Olympia. But that's about all I know.
Yeah, see, I couldn't even tell you who that is. So yeah. So what categories do you offer then? Do you offer classic?
Yeah, so WNBF joined forces with the NANBF. Now they're offering classic. So the women's categories,
okay,
we got bikini, figure, we've got fit body, and then women's bodybuilding, and then the men's categories are the board short physique, classic physique, and bodybuilding. And then
nice.
we got like debut and junior and masters and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'll probably do all three actually. Or at least I want to do all three. You know, depends on finances and like kind of everything, and like whether or not I'm fully sponsored. So
What we did, which I've not really seen any other show promoters do, is we just had the one entry free and then one entry fee and then 4 free crossovers. So people, I mean, like
oh
crossovers.
wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So yeah, we had a lot of crossovers for that reason.
Wow, yeah, that's awesome. I've actually never heard of that. I mean, most shows is just like they're just doing everything that they can to break even, you know, because there's so much money that goes into a show. So
yeah, I definitely didn't break even, but I knew I wasn't going to. But I was cool with it because for me, the experience was let's just make an awesome experience without sparing any expense, and that's what we did.
yeah, I didn't want to ask you that on the airs, and so I'm glad that you that you brought that up because yeah, I was like, there's no way you broke even if you were doing that.
Yeah,
Hyro and I haven't broken even yet with the Open Natural either. You know, we do this because we love it, not because it's you know, gonna make us millionaires. That's for damn sure. So
for sure.
Yeah. How do male athletes decide between men's physique, open bodybuilding, and classic? Like, just in your opinion, what should they consider? Like, do you recommend that someone doing their first show, they go ahead and try everything, or how do you identify whether your personality is fit for one category versus the other?
I mean, the judges, especially within the WNBF, like they're going to judge the physique based off of the criteria for that category and division. So, like, if you're freaking 5% body fat and jacked out of your mind, you probably don't belong in board shorts. You know, like you got to look at your body and be self-aware enough to know what you're going to present best in. So like, you know, I've seen people that can do all three and justify it. For me, I've never even done men's physique. Like I've always competed in classic and open bodybuilding. But the WNBF judges, I mean, they're pretty hardcore on sticking to the criteria for a given division and category. So I would just encourage people to be honest with themselves and have a good coach and just look at the criteria for a given category to see what they're going to resonate best with.
For sure. Thanks, man. How did you like meeting Angela Huckabee? I'm sure there's a lot of competitors there, but I imagine that you got a chance to get to know her a little bit or talk with her.
Yeah. She actually came to the compound, I don't know, like a year ago, probably. So when she moved into the area, she came out here and I met her then for the first time in person. But then, yeah, she did the show too, and she looked great. So it was awesome seeing her on the stage.
Yeah, I think she got a first place trophy too, right?
I don't remember all the placings, but I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she got a first and second and third in the 3 different categories that she did. She and I were texting on her macros all the way up and through the show. So
nice.
Yeah, she's pretty. Yeah, she seemed pretty happy with how she did.
Yeah, she looked great.
Thanks, man. What did everybody do for the after party? Did you guys have an organized after party, or everybody just go do their own thing?
No, we went all out, man. So we didn't hold anything to spare. So I had my dad. He came in the day prior, 2 days prior, and he started smoking pork butts in the parking lot the night before. So he was out there all night long smoking pork butts for the next day's competition. So when after the show was over, we provided food for everybody, and a lot of food. And we had like a judges feedback conference room that was isolated, and everybody just pulled up on quality pork butts. And then I had another guy that was one of our sponsors. He does all regeneratively raised, animals, pork, chicken, lamb, beef, everything. And I bought a bunch of chicken from him, and he was there grilling that. So we had regeneratively raised chicken, and then my dad was smoking pork butts. So we ate like kings.
Oh yeah, sounds like it. Well, and you guys are setting a great example too for people that aren't aware of what ketogenic bodybuilding is, and maybe not even keto dieting, right? Like a lot of the people that I'm around here with in San Diego, like they think that they need carbs for energy. They think that carbs are a primary fuel source. They think that if you're going to be an exceptional athlete in anything, that you're going to have carbs. And so I think that what you're doing is making a very powerful statement from a health standpoint, in the way that you don't need to just binge on cookies and cupcakes and fucking all the shit that that bodybuilders do after a show, right? Like we would always go to Red Robin for a lot of the competitions that that I had done when I first started, and we would get like Pazookies, right? Like the giant pizza cookie, and like it was just a matter of eating everything that you weren't able to eat on contest prep. But here you are giving somebody giving all the competitors something that's ancestral and something that's good for you and what we should be eating every day anyway, right? But I still think that I think that pork butt and ribeyes and like bacon burgers with butter on top of them, like I think that stuff is better than junk food every day of the week. But it's just like drugs, man. You get a temporary high, you get a temporary feeling of mouth pleasure, and then what? You feel like shit after you eat it, right? But when you eat the foods that you just provided everybody with immediately after a show, everybody is able to really enjoy an actual amazing feast, like you said, eating like kings, but you're not ruining your body and your mind with toxic foods.
Totally, man. I mean, it's very common post-show for people to, like, if the show promoter is providing food, it's oftentimes like a dessert cupcake platter tray or pizza, which is horrendous. Or everybody goes out to eat and just like goes to Cheesecake Factory or something like that.
Right.
It's just not good. Like, it's not a good image of health in and of itself. I mean, like, there's so much disordered eating within the bodybuilding space that goes untold. And I've struggled with that. I mean, my first show, I did the same thing. I went to Red Lobster, ate everything in sight, and gained 20 pounds overnight. You know, with this, I could provide quality food to people. They could eat it in excess, but if they're eating meat post-show, the next day I had clients that were competing and they're telling me what their weights are, and they totally ate a ton of barbecue and their weight wasn't up at all the following day. Like, that's what it should be.
Yep. Yeah. What are you eating in a typical day, man? You're not competing anytime soon, to my knowledge, right? So I assume that you're in the building phase.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to compete again until 2027. So it's Greg and I, as well as a few others, are all going to compete again in 27 against one another. So that'll be exciting. But right now, yeah, I'm in the building phase. Typical day of eating for me currently is around 35 to 4,000 calories, and I'm eating heavy cream in my coffee. I'll have, maybe a meat stick or some cheese or something early in the morning prior to working out. And then I'll have post-training, a couple cans of sardines, a keto brick, and then a big, meat and egg dish for dinner. And that's pretty much a typical day for me.
Yeah. You said the C word. The C word's not allowed on this show, bro. I'm just kidding.
Cheese?
No, calories. So my one of my roommates, he and I were talking about calories, and he told me how he lost X amount of weight by cutting calories. And when I told him that tracking calories is not something that is mathematically accurate nor helpful in losing weight, he put up quite an argument, and he was like, well, it worked for me, and I cut calories, and I lost 70 pounds over the last 2 or 3 years or whatever. How would you have responded to that?
I mean, when I'm in a prep, I'm eating the exact same thing that I'm eating in the building phase. Like, my food choices don't change at all. The quantities change. My training doesn't change. I increase cardio slightly. Most of my manipulations come from nutritional manipulations, and I'm adjusting the macro ratios and quantities of those macros.
Yeah.
So based off of the macro grams in the given food that I'm eating, one could derive the caloric load of that, intake. So my calories are changing throughout a prep, and they are getting lower when I'm getting leaner. But I'm basing my manipulations off of the gram intake of the fats and proteins. But again, you could derive the calories from those grams.
Yeah. You track macros when you're on contest prep. You don't track calories or cut calories in the way that conventional dieters do, I guess is what I'm saying, though, in terms of like if it fits your macros.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people only put emphasis on the total calories consumed without any attention paid towards how much fat, how much protein, how many carbs, the ratio of those foods. And like, I'm highlighting the ratio of those foods. So that's where my emphasis is placed.
So I think you and I would both agree that emphasizing the quality of the foods is going to be what increases your metabolism. It's going to increase your testosterone, your growth hormone, and that sustainable fat loss is going to come from that, and not just saying, "Oh, I can eat whatever I want as long as it fits under X amount of calories."
Yeah. I mean, like, in a lot of bodybuilders in the conventional space, like they're cutting calories, they're manipulating their proteins, carbs, and fats as well. But like, because of the nutritional choices they're making relative to the ones I'm making, they all wind up feeling like zombies towards the end. And I feel totally cognitively, honestly, sharper than ever. So that I would dictate as a result of the types of foods and the quality of the foods I'm eating relative to what they're consuming.
Definitely. You and I are, sometimes I do the math of the calories that I'm eating, just because, especially when I'm on contest prep, because I'm just entertained by the fact that I'm eating about twice as many calories as just about anybody else that's on prep. When I hear of people getting down to 1,000 calories, I'm like, that's like not even survival. I mean, like, how can you even live on that? But then when I look at what they're eating, I'm like, well, you're eating carbs every day still. Like, I haven't eaten carbs in like a long time, right? And since filling up for my last show, and so I'm eating far more calories than other people that I know when I'm on prep. And
yeah, I don't even think you can raise calories that low by any means. I mean, my 3-year-old son eats more than 1,000 calories a day. So to argue that you would need 1,000 calories or less to get into the optimal shape.
I see it all the time, though.
Yeah, I see it all the time. I mean, I know so many people that give me horror stories of their coach prescribing 700 calories. And it's like, yeah, that's definitely not optimal.
Right. You and I are some of the only natural bodybuilders that bulk without carbs. Why don't you use carbs to bulk up?
I mean, I haven't felt it necessary. Like, I get better every single year. I look better on stage every single year. I am healthy throughout the building phase. I don't get excessively fat, put on unnecessary, adipose tissue. My joints feel good, and I don't eat crap. So I feel like all that in consideration, not really a good argument for me to eat a bunch of carbohydrates. I mean, I don't feel like I need carbohydrates or excessive glucose to have energy in my training performance, to be able to implement progressive overload or have hypertrophic, benefits from a training standpoint. So no carbs necessary on my end.
Yeah, good stuff. One more question before we get into self-worth. That's a topic that I wanted to spend a little bit of time on today. Peptides. I don't know anything about them. And one of my other roommates here at our sober living house has been asking me if I take peptides, and I said no. And he said that he was wanting to take them for some recovery purposes. And I mean, I know that people will ask their doctor for nandrolone because their joints hurt, but that's just a sneaky way to get DECA, right? So, like, what's your opinion on peptides? Are they something that are they natural? Are they not natural? What are they? I don't even have a clue.
I mean, they're basically just amino acids, and some are natural, some are not natural. I mean, collagen powder is technically a peptide, and you've probably taken collagen powder, as I'm sure most of us have.
I don't, but I'm doing bone broth though pretty regularly.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I'm not anti-peptides, but from a supplemental exogenous standpoint of injecting peptides, like, most of that's frowned upon within the WNBF or not allowed at all. Different peptides create different outcomes. Like, some are for inflammation, like you got BPC 157, which is commonly used in the knees and joints and things like that to mitigate against inflammation and chronic ailment. But you get some peptides that are like Ozempic, which is designed to cause a reduction in appetite and lose body fat. There's other peptides that are anabolic and stem from growth hormones. So everyone's kind of got its own unique outcome or goal. I don't take them, but a lot of people do, man. That's kind of where things are going for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Interesting. He's going to send me some information, some studies on it too. So now I'm curious. Thanks, man. What's up, carnivores? Coach Colt here with a friendly reminder not to overtrain your muscles or your mind for that matter. So we're going to take a break for just a couple minutes, and I'm going to share with you something inspiring and then something entertaining for a second, and then we'll get back into the show. Every week we feature a listener-inspiring success story from one of you, and we call it L.I.S.S for short. Not to be confused with low-intensity, steady-state cardio. This one is from Stef Lewis once again. Thank you so very much, Stef. She is from Maine. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Stef.
Hey, Colt. You're going to have to forgive me. I might be a little bit out of breath. I just left the gym. But I just wanted to shoot you a quick message and just thank you for being here. And thank you for putting out such an amazing, informational, educational podcast like Carnivore Coach's Corner. It isn't just about eating meat and an animal-based diet as opposed to the standard American SAD diet. It's the education that I receive every time I hit play. I know I've mentioned it to you, but I feel like I need to listen to the podcast and have a pen and paper handy because there's so much information and it's so amazing. Things that you would never think y'all come up with. And I just want to thank your co-host for sharing the information that he knows. And I want to thank you all again for bringing this information to the public and for sharing your knowledge with all of us. Because I'm telling you, where am I going to go with that? Carnivore. People think that without carbs, you're going to lose strength. That's absolute fucking bullshit. I have been strict carnivore now. Well, I'm on day 43 of 75 hard. I started out keto. That only lasted for like a week. And I said, you know what? Let's see what we can do and we'll cut out all the carbs. All of them. We'll go strict carnivore, eggs, beef, bacon. I've learned that I don't really like chicken. I don't really like pork chops or anything of that nature. So I've been eating a lot of red meat, as you know. You and I share pictures frequently. But my strength gains in the gym. In fact, I just had a guy whose arms are as big as my head tell me that I train like a little beast. So there you go. My strength gains have gone up. I'm up, I think I'm up 20 pounds in my pec deck, my pec flies. My tricep extensions are getting big. Everything. It's just like everything is gaining. And my husband tells me I look like a little tank now. So, and it's all meat-based. 100% meat-based. So, I appreciate you guys sharing your knowledge so much with all of us. And without you, I don't know, I'd probably be stuck eating plants with my meat. And I decided that's not the best thing to do anymore. So, love you, Coach. Keep spreading the word. Y'all, thank you. Have an amazing day.
Thanks once again, Steph. Hey, listeners, if you have an inspiring success story kind of similar to what you just heard, go ahead and send a video or an audio link. You can email it to me. You can text it to me if you have my number. Send it to me on Instagram. Whatever you want to do, whatever is easiest. We're pretty creative, and so Rich and I can put it on the podcast pretty easily once we have it. So the carnivore community is growing across the globe. The more we all share what's working, the more we all learn and grow together. And in other news, there is still no shortage of fraudulent coaches online, so beware who you listen to on social media. Clowns, bellends, blokes, whatever you want to call these motherfuckers. Here is another deceptive Instagram reel that was sent to me by one of our listeners. So keep them coming. Keep them coming, guys. Somebody's got to say something to these fake coaches that are spreading horrible information. So send me whatever video has you confused on your facts, and Rich and I will help you pick it apart. Actually, the first thing that she said here was pretty good. Everything else after it was total crap, though. Here, listen to what I'm talking about.
Let's chat about 3 things you don't need in your weekly routine in order to lose weight.
Yes, preach it, sister. We definitely agree on the calorie counting. So far, so good.
You don't need to count calories when you're trying to lose weight. In fact, you shouldn't. Not to mention, when you're counting calories, you feel restricted, you feel hungry, and you get really discouraged because you're working really hard but not getting the results that you're looking for. You don't need to do keto or any other extreme diet in order to lose weight. Those diets are not sustainable.
Time out. Why are you calling the keto diet a fad diet? That's the oldest diet there is. That's what all of our ancestors ate. I've been eating this way for 5 years, and most of my clients have been keto for longer than I've been.
You don't need to stop eating sugar in order to lose weight. Glucose is your body's #1 source of energy.
False. Glucose is not the primary fuel source for humans. Ketones are, actually. If your body has ketones and glucose in the bloodstream at the same time, your body's going to want to burn those ketones first.
And plus, who can slowly cut out chocolate for a lifetime?
I think your standards are too low. Alcoholics can quit drinking alcohol the rest of their lives. Cocaine addicts can quit snorting the rest of their lives. And you can give up junk food if you really want to bad enough, if it's important to you.
And if you're really having a hard time giving up sweets, that's what Keto Bricks are for. My favorite is the glazed donut, better than Krispy Kreme.
All right, so there you go, everybody. Now, back into the podcast with Mr. Robert Sikes.
So I've been attending AA meetings and Cocaine Anonymous meetings, like we were talking about before we started recording. I want to spend some time on self-worth right now. I've been attending these meetings every single night of every week. Tonight will be my 84th meeting in 82 days of sobriety since August 3rd, which was actually the one and only suicide attempt that I've ever had. It was the hardest week of my life, and I won't spend too much time discussing this other than what's applicable to the questions that I wanted to ask you. But I bring this up because we lost a member from one of our regular meetings last week to suicide, and it's just heartbreaking to see so many people that are victims that may or may not know that there's people that truly love and care for them. So listeners can refer back to last week's session where Jenny and I talked about suicide, and I have a very special guest that'll be discussing it with me here in a few weeks. So in retrospect, after some prayer therapy and counseling to unpack why I called it quits, it boiled down to two main reasons: thoughts of hopelessness and feelings of worthlessness. I woke up with these feelings today. They don't really go away. So I want to cover them one at a time. Hopelessness is a mental problem. So logically, it appeared that there was no way out of the heartbreaking reality that I was facing. Worthlessness, on the other hand, is an emotional problem. So that's like feelings of shame, guilt, and regret, right? Revelation 12:10 describes Satan as being an accuser. And so that's exactly what his name means. And when you're hearing those voices, that's where they're coming from. That's precisely what he does in the book of Job. He's quite gifted at this, and his accusations are quite convincing, especially to those who their perception of reality is tainted or clouded by drugs. Robert, when I smoked weed in front of you before our workout in Montana, you were curious and skeptical, but I did it anyway. I'd give anything to take back incorporating drugs into any aspect of my life, but definitely including my training. And I should have followed your humble example instead. Step 2 in Alcoholics Anonymous states that we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. In his second epistle, that is, St. Peter teaches precisely how to supplement your faith with to rebuild a broken self-image, and by extension, feelings of worthlessness. These are qualities that I see you exhibit, and I speculate that you may or may not realize that Peter has a list of 7 supplements that you're using all the time. You're using them, and I've compiled these lists. I've compiled these into a list to make sure that I'm defending myself against the enemy with the right tools. So would you like to know what they are?
I would, man. Lay them on me.
Okay. 2 Peter 1:5-8 says, "For this reason, make every effort to supplement your faith with virtue, virtue with knowledge, and knowledge with self-control, and self-control with endurance, and endurance with godliness, and godliness with brotherly affection, and brotherly affection with love. For if these things are yours and abound, they will keep you from being ineffective and unfruitful." Some translations say useless in the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. So in other words, Peter gives us 7 surefire ways to combat the feelings of worthlessness, and 7 is a biblical number of perfection. So there's no way that that's an accident. So I'd like to ask you what each of these means to you, and if that's okay.
Yeah, man. Where do you want to start?
Okay, so the first one is virtue. Oxford Dictionary defines virtue as behavior showing high moral standards, and this can also be translated goodness. So I attend Mass once per week in addition to Submerged Church on Sundays, which is where I play bass on our worship team, praying the rosary prayers, which is what I'm wearing around my neck right now. We're not supposed to wear them around our necks, but whatever. I think it's a nice necklace too. So I incorporating my muscle and meditation technique that I showed you when we trained together. Those are 2 of the systematic rituals that keep my values at the forefront of my brain and my heart. So do you have any structured prayers other than, I guess, going to your men's group that you're talking about, your Bible study group? Any structured prayers, Bible study practices that you use regularly, or is your relationship with God something that you pursue pretty much just like organically?
Definitely organically, but also structured. I mean, we pray Like I pray first thing upon waking every morning, before meals, and together as a family before we go to bed each night. And then we, go to church, and we have the men's group, led the prayer and this morning men's group. So yeah, just constant conversation.
I love it. I think it was your last podcast that you just published. You and your guests were talking about how there were studies that prove that praying before a meal increases the bioavailability of the food that you're consuming.
Yeah, I mean, your body is going to absorb and assimilate that nutrition much better if it's in a parasympathetic state. And most people make the mistake of like grabbing something while they're driving, or eating standing up, or eating in a stressed environment. Whereas, like, if you just simply take the time to breathe and relax before consumption, you're going to have better absorption. And a great tangible way to do that is to show gratitude for that meal and its nourishment via prayer.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to make sure that my local client here listens to this. I'm not going to say his name because of anonymity, but we're both at the same treatment center. And I told him that protein bars were okay, just whatever he needs to do to make sure he hits his protein requirements. And he was, I caught him eating a protein bar while bicycling back from the gym. And I'm like, and so I told him, bro, I am so proud of you for meeting your protein requirements, but please, man, like if it comes to that, like you'd be better off not eating it. And in your last guest was actually saying how you need that 10 or 15 minutes of just relaxing after a workout for your muscles to be able to recover properly too. So like eating a protein bar immediately after you leave the gym, terrible advice. And it's usually somebody trying to sell you protein powder or a protein bar that's telling you that because they just want it to be a habit.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, cool. So number 2 is knowledge. I read 15 minutes a day from the AA Big Book, either personally or tonight my sponsor and I are going to read it together after our meeting. Sometimes we read it in a group setting, and if time allows, I'll read from a personal development book such as The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins or The Crippler by my boxing coach, Chris Levin. I also make it a habit to listen to both a nutrition podcast, like The Work, or Savage Perspective, or an online church sermon. So I'm always being educated with the right information. So what are you reading, and what podcasts are you listening to right now?
Yeah, I don't honestly listen to much music. Like even when I'm training, I'm listening to a podcast or an audiobook more often than not. When I'm driving, I'm listening to something educational. I'm reading multiple books at a time. I'm reading Think and Grow Rich. I'm reading a book on parenting.
Oh, that's a good one. Auto suggestion.
Yeah, I've read it multiple times. I'm just brushing up on it again, having not read it in a while.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
When I'm mowing, I'm listening to an audiobook. Pretty much I'm always, if I'm able to listen actively, I'm listening to something educational. So like the education never stops, and it never should stop. Like there's much more to be learned once you get through formal schooling.
Yeah, definitely. Number 3 is self-control. My counselor at Rocky Mountain Treatment Center in Great Falls, Montana, she and I made some fail-safe relapse prevention cards that come in handy whenever I experience a trigger to use drugs, fall off my diet, or find myself in a risky situation. Each of the 5 index cards that we made together has 5 specific actions that I can perform to eliminate the craving. And these include spiritual, musical, and therapeutic tools that I've been taught during the first 30 days of treatment and still refer to them as needed every day. So are you ever tempted by drugs? Are you ever tempted by junk food? I mean, you said you haven't had a fucking donut in 10 years, so that's pretty amazing. Lust, pornography, do you ever have cravings for anything like this? And if so, how do you combat those cravings?
Man, honestly, I don't really have any cravings for that. Like junk food, I haven't deviated from keto in over a decade now. When I do overconsume food in general, it's all like super high quality food, and I'm conscious in the moment of doing it. Like there's a purpose for it. So like that's not really an issue. I don't really struggle with disordered eating tendencies anymore so much. I looked at porn way back when, like most guys do at some point or another, but I stopped doing that cold turkey once I started the business because I realized how much of a waste of time it was. Wasn't serving me. No, I've never done drugs. I don't really have any calling to that. I'm a workaholic though, for sure. So like if I'm not working, I get anxious. That's probably not healthy. I mean, it's benefited me in a lot of ways, but it's also probably hindered me in some. So like my advice would be to not be working as much. Probably that would be my advice, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool, man. I tried, that's awesome that you're able to quit porn cold turkey. I tried, a couple years after high school to quit multiple times and was unable to. And it wasn't until I started cutting for my first bodybuilding show way back in the day, and my testosterone got so low that I just didn't desire to look at it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, when your body is crazy low, like testosterone is going to take quite a dip, and yeah, libido drops apparently as well.
Yeah, definitely. Number 5 is godliness. So each day I'm required to either attend, this is what I require of myself, is to either attend a church service, go to mass, or study the Bible verse by verse. Currently a friend who is also in recovery, he and I are going through both of St. Peter's epistles together, late after meetings or Mexican food or wherever he wants to go for fellowship. So explaining old familiar passages to someone else really brings them to life for me and helps me to stay grounded in the basics. So do you have a favorite book of the Bible or a devotional that you would like to share? I know you guys are going through Ephesians right now.
I like Matthew too, man. Like I really like Matthew. It's just, I mean, I like them all. They all kind of teach a lesson. Crystal and I are reading the whole book from cover to cover again right now. Like we'll read a page every single night before we go to bed.
Cool.
And we're in Leviticus right now in the Old Testament, and like some of the Old Testament stuff is a little rough to read.
Have you got to chapter 23 yet in Leviticus?
I don't remember what chapter we're on right now, man. What is it about?
It's about the 7 feasts, and they are prophetic, man. So like if you just read through it, you'll like not have a clue what the implications are. But if you have a good, and I can send you some too. But if you have a good audio commentary of somebody that's up to date on end times prophecy right now, you'll see a lot of parallels between that and the book of Revelation and Zechariah, and it all fits together with how Jesus is going to come back and what those last days are going to look like. And so it's actually very prophetic and very exciting. But yeah, other than that, the book of Leviticus, if you don't know what to look for, it can be pretty monotonous.
Yeah, but I mean, I like them all, man. I mean, they all teach a valuable lesson for sure. I do like Matthew a lot, simply because it's very direct, it's very to the point, it's very like actionable, and I feel like people need to just take action more often than not. Like so many people are inundated with information, and they just become, I don't know, I guess they just become paralyzed. Like action is the key, and I feel like Matthew gives very direct, actionable steps.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna email you if that's okay. If you would like, if you would like me to, yeah, I'm gonna send you a recording by either Skip Heitzig or Gary Hamrick. Between one of those two guys, I'll make sure it's a good one before I send it to you. But yeah, there's a couple guys that have some pretty good expositions of how to interpret that.
That chapter. Send it away, man.
Yeah. Cool, exciting stuff. All right. Number 6 is brotherly affection. So when I'm skateboarding to Boardwalk Treatment Center, St. Bridges Parish, Pacific Beach, Vaughn's, or any of our meeting locations that I make spontaneous calls to my sponsor, Taylor and the kids, another recovering addict, clients that I'm coaching. By the way, I make phone calls in that order. By the way, that's an order of importance. And so the reason is because if my sobriety isn't my first priority, then my entire life falls apart. So how do you best stay connected with those whom you love?
So I try, and like the people that are in my innermost circle, like I try and make an effort to reach out to them and see them ideally on a somewhat regular basis. We're all busy. We're all living our own lives. So it's not as easy as I would like it to be. But like take an effort to make those interactions take place. And then, with my family unit, like we're getting together on a regular basis. Like my, immediate family, we see each other daily and we make time for each other daily. But like my folks, like we're gonna go see my folks this weekend. We got Thanksgiving coming up for the family, so be able to interact with my extended family there. We've got a couple hunting camps in the pipeline, so always good getting with the guys and going on a hunting trip. And then just making phone calls, man, like reaching out to people that have been positive impact in my life and being a positive impact back to them. So just putting effort towards that, because it takes effort.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool. Number 7 is love. Music is my gift that my Savior lovingly gave me, and so it's my expression of love to give it back to the world. Right? I rarely miss a day of practicing and or playing my bass guitar, and even when I do, I certainly make sure to make up for lost time the following day. Every night is spent writing sheet music and poetry on the occasions that I'm enlightened to write song lyrics. Actually, you know what? I'm going to my grandfather's celebration of life this weekend, so I'm going to be playing for that. We just recently lost him, actually.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, he's in a better place now. The last year was pretty rough. I kind of wanted to read these lyrics to you. I think you might get a kick out of it.
Yeah, what you got?
Okay, cool. It's called La Jolla Cha Cha, because I live right next to La Jolla, and I was at some AA meetings in La Jolla when I was writing this. But skating to La Jolla, trying to make you proud, playing up some cha-cha, chasing that pink cloud. Working in La Jolla, grateful for your love. In my heart I see ya, smiling from above. And then the chorus is, we're dancing in the rain with Mike and Elaine. No need for Mary Jane, it's better than cocaine. Praying at La Jolla, United Methodist. I won't forget you, Grandpa. Jimmy, you'll be missed. Dancing in La Jolla, watching through heaven's gate. Now that Eric's with you, it's time to celebrate.
I love it, man. Super cool. You be playing that for everybody there at the celebration of life?
Yep. Yeah, I'll be slapping the bass along with that. So I've been playing lots. The style of the song is actually Latin, and I've been playing a lot of Latin music because there's a large Latino population around here. It's easy for me to play with other jazz musicians because a lot of the songs that I play are jazz standards, and so I try to stick with mostly Latin songs. And I also play a lot of punk rock, and punk rock is my hands down totally my favorite style of music to play. So Latin music and punk rock, they're actually not too far away from each other if you just rock up the Latin and give it a little bit of distortion. And you gotta lower your bass down to your hips. You can't have it up here.
Rock and roll, man. It's awesome.
Thanks, man. So yeah, it's been close to a year since the last rock band that I was playing in broke up. It was due to drugs. And then I left the worship team that I played in when I was living in Billings due to issues that my family and I had with the church, which caused us to leave. So shortly after arriving in San Diego, I joined the worship team here for Submerged Church at Ocean Beach and started a punk rock band with another recovering addict. So most of our music is around sobriety and spiritual warfare. But what do you believe that your gift is, my man, that makes you valuable in the kingdom of God?
Well, I feel like there is a hierarchy of human optimization.
Okay.
And God blesses us with health at birth, barring some kind of birth defect or something like that. We're all born in a state of health. It's not a goal to be healthy. It's a responsibility to be healthy.
Agreed.
If our health is intact, our ability to serve others is improved. And so many people have missed the boat on that. And I feel like a very tangible way that I can add value to humanity so that they can in turn help and provide for themselves and others around them, and then therefore serve God at the highest capacity they have, is to first be healthy. And I feel like I've basically constructed my business, my passion, my content, my message all around getting that dialed in and optimized. And that has helped people in a very tangible way.
I would 100% agree with that. 1 Corinthians 6:19 says, do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you and whom you have received from God? And your business, your brand, what you do before and after bodybuilding shows, that to me looks like it's an incredible example of what that verse is getting at.
Agreed.
Cool. Well, we are just coming up on an hour, my man. You are somebody that burns a candle at both ends, like you were just saying. You're a workaholic, and so I do not want to take any more of your very, very precious time. Is there anything else that you wanted to chat about, or do you think we should get going? I think we should call it a wrap.
I don't have anything else crazy on the pipeline. We got a lot of stuff in the pipeline with the business stuff.
Tell me about it. What do you guys got coming up? What's the next keto brick flavor?
I can't divulge that information, but we always
okay.
flavor. We got some seasonal favorites coming. We're doing a ton of work for the content, the course.
You guys had a mint keto brick a while ago, right?
Yeah, we had a mint and a white chocolate peppermint. Those
I missed that one. Okay,
that one's delicious. We've got a couple new businesses that we're working on that will see the light of day in the not too distant future.
Wow.
And then just like the home stuff, man. Like we got 2 kiddos now, homesteading. Yep. We're getting some pigs here before long, so I'm gonna be doing some fence work, getting pigs in check. All kinds of things in the pipeline, man. Always something rocking and rolling, but all exciting stuff that I'm grateful for.
Yeah. Cool beans. Well, thanks again, my brother, for being an inspiration to me and to all my clients. I mean, like whenever I'm going to interview you, I kind of tell everybody and hype it up, and they all look up to you, man. So just thanks for doing what you do. Thanks for your podcast and for being the incredible example you are. Appreciate your time once again, and I'm going to be chatting with Casey and some other people about maybe making some plans to do that show next year. So,
hey, appreciate you, man. Definitely come on down. I'd love to see you on my stage, brother.
All right, man. Sounds good. I love you like a brother, and we'll chat soon, man.
Sounds great, man. Take care.
Thanks. You too.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure to let us know what you thought. You can feel free to shoot either Rich or myself an email, admin@supersetyourlife.com or rich@theketopro.com. You can send us a DM on Instagram. I am at Primal Cuts Fitness, and Rich is at Richard Anthony Smith. Rich and I both offer private one-on-one consultations and monthly coaching services for those that are serious about getting some real results. First call, if you've never booked with either of us, is always free. If you are one of our listeners, we'd love to hear your story, answer your questions, and help you out in any way possible. Carnivore coaching has been a cause worth dedicating our lives to. It's who we are, and we'd be honored to help you experience what this lifestyle has done for us, our families, and our clients. Share this with a friend if you found it helpful, and we'll catch you next week on session number 110. Until then, say this with us: eat like a lion, live like a lion. Love you guys. God bless, and have a good week until then.